Hey y'all, happy Sunday. I'm here today with the children's sermon. Today's scripture that Dr. Mosser talked about is found in Job, and it's chapter 38, verses 4 through 11. Now, the story of Job is an interesting one. A lot of people have a lot of different thoughts about it, and I'm not going to go into all of that today. I encourage you to read that book of the Bible for yourself, talk to your parents about it. If you've got questions, I'm happy to answer them. But in this particular verse or chapter, Job and God are having a conversation. Job is asking God a lot of questions. And Job's answer, or God's answer in this particular passage says, "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundations? Tell me if you know. Who set its measurements? Surely you know. Who stretched a measuring tape on it?" God's talking back and answering Job and saying, "Were you there?" Then he continues, "On what were its footings sunk? Who laid its cornerstone? While the morning stars sang in unison and all the divine beings shouted. Who enclosed the sea behind doors when it burst forth from the womb? When I made the clouds its garment, the dense clouds its wrap. When I imposed my limit for it, put a bar and doors, and said, you may come this far, no farther. Here your proud waves stop." So, God's talking to Job, and God's saying, I did this, I made this, right? So here's some questions for you that are sort of like the questions that Job was asking God. What was there before God? What do you think? Ask your parents what they think. How can God be everywhere at the same time? How can God know everything that everyone in the world is thinking, doing, all the time? These are some of the questions that Job had. God's attempting to answer them. And they're questions we still have today, right? I'm sure you've asked your parents. I remember asking mine. How could God make the world out of nothing? There are a lot of different thoughts about what these answers might be. But the answer to all of these questions, and to a lot of the others that we ask, is that God is bigger. That God is more than what we can imagine. And our response to that is to celebrate and acknowledge how wonderful God is and how powerful God is. And to remember He's more than what we can understand. And isn't that wonderful that we worship a God that's not someone that we can fully understand? God will always be more. All right, you guys. Can't wait to hear what other questions you've got. Ask me, ask your parents, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.